Welcome to Odds.com's continuing coverage of MLB playoff baseball. World Series Game 3s in the books. A big and easy 6-2 win for the LA Dodgers. They take a 2-1 series lead. Things are getting more and more comfortable. I imagine Nolly knows. How are you feeling after Game 3?
Oh, definitely feeling really good about this series. Game 3 is always a big pivotal game. You know, you're looking over 60% of the Game 3 winners go on to win the series. And I mean, Walker Buehler, he was flat out dominant out there. 10 Ks out there, six innings, 3 hits. Looked all the part that I thought. I thought the Dodgers might be able to get to more than a little bit. I didn't expect that many hits. A lot of 2-out hits. You've seen they kept flashing on the screen all the records the Dodgers set for 2-out hits in the postseason, setting a postseason record, and then they keep adding on to it. Some that was huge in this game. Just wasn't able to get the outs when he needed. Wasn't able to close out the at bats. He was down. He would get people down in 2 strikes, 1-2. Just wasn't able to close that bats. You've seen it with Turner and Muncy in that inning, and that they were able to get to him. I was a little surprised. They cost me the first 5 under, but we're able to catch the first 5 with the Dodgers and the Morton strikeout prop, which I think they let Morton go a little bit longer, maybe to try to save the bullpen maybe a little bit. I'm not sure why they decided to let him come back out, but I appreciate it. Thanks, Cash.
Yeah. No, my winning streak came to an end. I got the 7th straight with the Dodgers first 5 minus a half or first 4.5 minus a half. But a late addition when the roof was announced closed, I jumped in on the first 5 under 3.5 at plus 100. So the winning 7 out of my last 8, still pretty good. But I'd love to be sitting here saying I've hit 7 straight. So a little disappointed there. Yes, Dodgers scored 5 runs with 2 outs and 2 strikes. That's tied for the most in a World Series game since 2000. And Buehler was spectacular. 1-run ball, struck out 10, allowed only 4 base runners, 1.28 ERA over his past 9 postseason starts. He certainly looks the part. And just in case, if the Rays battle back in the series, and this is the Rays team with a lot of heart, if they battle back in the series, you'll have Walker Buehler ready to go for Game 7. There was spots where Morton was challenging hitters with full counts, challenging hitters when the first base was open, and it was costing him. And but I respect him doing that. But this Dodgers team is very dangerous. Let's get into Game 4 right now. We have a bunch of stuff coming into who is starting for the Rays. We know that Julio Urias is starting for the Dodgers. Let's talk about what you've heard for the Rays starters, because we got Yarbrough listed, but I have the feeling that there's going to be an opener, and I plan when I make my bet, and we're going to break it down how we're handling our action here, but I plan when I make my bet to make it action, which is something I don't usually do, because I think there might be an opener. But have you heard more concrete information that it will be Yarbrough?
Not necessarily concrete. When I hear some of the quotes from Cash, he was talking earlier before this game, and he mentioned that he was going to go with Yarbrough to eat up a good chunk of the innings, but didn't really specify whether or not he would open. And but being the fact that he allowed him to just go ahead and start the last time out, to me, I was expecting him to just start. I was a little bit surprised to see him go in the Game 1, but he's had plenty of rest just going that 1 inning or 2/3 of an inning. So I think he'll be fine that way. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I could see it happening either way. But regardless, even if it is someone else starting, it would just be an opener like you said.
Yeah, Yarbrough, the bulk of the innings. All right, well, let's attack this. Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas, 60 Fahrenheit. It's a little warmer. It's clear, and the wind has died quite down from what we've been seeing. 5 miles per hour sideways in. It goes down to 4 miles per hour and sideways in. Urias, Yarbrough, 2 lefties. Let's talk about Urias first. Nolly, 3-0, 3.27 ERA, 1.15 whip, 55 innings, 45 Ks, 18 walks during the regular season. He was very good, but he's taken it up a notch in the playoffs. 4-0, 0.56 ERA, 0.63 whip, 16 innings, 16 Ks, and 3 walks. We talk about the Rays against lefties. They hit 237, 794 OPS in the regular season. They were very strong. But in the playoffs, that's dipped quite a bit to 214, 705 OPS. And then we look at Urias. against left-handed batters in 2020. And this is the regular season, not in the playoffs. The regular season, 137 average with a 491 OPS. That's what lefties hit off him. Righties hit 247 with a 647 OPS. So then you have to look at the Rays lineup because they have some key left-handed bats. So first off, Lau at second. He hit left-handed pitchers hard this year. So he hit him 300, 1.137 whip. That was in the regular season. So you can expect Lau to still be manning second. But Joey Wendell will likely be replaced because Mike Brosseau hits lefties hard, and you don't want left-handed bats out there. So it'll either be Yandy Diaz or Brosseau at third, and it'll probably be either of those two as DH. I expect both Brosseau and Diaz to be in the lineup. And then the only other problem spot is Kiermaier. He's at center. He hit 158 with a 449 OPS versus lefties this year. Interestingly enough, he took Kershaw deep in game one, but 158, 449 OPS versus lefties. So those are some left-handed bats that Urias should be able to take control of. What are your expectations of Julio Urias in this spot?
I mean, this is a guy that I'm really high on. A lot of Dodger fans really excited about finally letting him go, finally taking the leash off. You know, he had a shoulder surgery a while back, and they were really holding him back, weren't letting him go very deep, using him out of the bullpen a lot. And this year they seem to have let him go, and he succeeded quite a bit. This year in the postseason, you mentioned it, he's been lights out. Last time out against the Braves, goes 3 perfect innings. You know, he didn't record a strikeout, so you see he's able to get outs. He's getting outs in different ways, you know. So that's one thing that I love to see. And one thing when you mentioned with him looking at when he faces guys multiple times. First time around, when you see the batting average is 281. Second time around, 159. You know, and that's 89 at bats the first time and 82 second time. So very similar. He's only seen 34 the third time around and only 206. Especially when you look at the power numbers. First time around, 5 home runs, 4 doubles. Second time around, 0 home runs and only 2 doubles. So he seems to figure guys out. You know, it's something that you don't really see. You typically see the opposite, and that's the stat that I love to see. He's been pitching extremely well. He's got a lot of spin rate, something that we love to see, and I expect him to have some success here against Tampa Bay. They haven't really been producing very many runs this whole postseason, and this guy's been on fire, and I expect that to continue.
Wow, love those stats, Nolly. And listening to them, it makes me think, you know, you're going to get this juicy plus line on the Rays to score first. You know, juicy. I bet that's going to be a big plus spot. And it sounds like that's where he's susceptible, scoring first. And Rosarena, after hitting that home run to close out the game, I mean, he smashes lefties. Very, very interesting stats there, and I loved hearing them. So there's Julio Urias. Let's talk about Ryan Yarbrough. 1-4, 3.56 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 55 2/3, 44 Ks, 12 walks during the regular season. During the postseason, 1-1, 3.38 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, 10 2/3, 6 Ks, 3 walks. Those of us that are big fans of the AL East have seen Yarbrough often, and he destroys the Jays year in and year out. So he's a pitcher I believe in. In 2020, lefties hit 259 with a 685 OPS, righties 255, 690 OPS. Very, very similar numbers there. There's no advantage. And then we get the Dodgers against lefties, 250, 778 OPS. We've spoken about it countless times now, you and I, Nolly, in the playoffs, about the roller coaster ride the Dodgers had against lefties. They started the year very strong. They completely fell off against lefties. They closed the year very strong. And in the postseason now, 282 average, 920 OPS versus lefties. First, let's talk about your expectations of Yarbrough, and then talk to me about what the Dodgers have been doing that's been working against lefties and who those batters are.
I mean, when I look at Yarbrough, it's a very crafty lefty, a potential to maybe possibly stifle these bats a little bit. His exit velocity, hard hit rate are very, very, very low, and that's something that you want to see out of pitchers. The soft contact, and especially here in the postseason, he's looked pretty good. Especially when he's a starter, that's something that he wants to do. But one thing that I seen last time out when he came in with runners in first and third, gives up two base hits after getting Bellinger to pop out. Two hits that cost runs. I mean, don't go to him; they go to Glasnow. But I saw that they were able to get him, hit him, and then Barnes flies out to left to end the inning. So that's something that I kind of noted in my mind when I saw that happen, seeing that he wasn't exactly lights out. But I mean, that's a tough situation to put a pitcher in, regardless. So I mean, not the same as starting the game. But to me, I think he is a great pitcher. He can be very crafty, and the fact that none of these Dodgers have seen him yet is something to look out for. You know, some that he might have a slight advantage starting off early. But like you said, some of these Dodgers are starting to hit some of these lefties, and we'll see how that continues.
And then who are the Dodgers that step up against lefties as you see it? Like who are the bats that are going to be the most dangerous here?
Well, I mean, they're gonna probably go extremely right-handed. You know, that's something that you always want to see. So you'll probably see Pollock in the lineup. That's somebody that has the potential to hit these lefties. The last few games, I mean, Mookie's been doing his thing. Uh, Turner's turning it on, you know, and the one guy is Bellinger. Bellinger's really been hitting these lefties, which is a big surprise.
He has been lately, and Turner looking so strong at the plate. He's just a guy who steps up in big situations. So against Urias, there's been 12 at bats for the Rays, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts in the 12 at bats. The lefties haven't touched him. A couple righties, Manuel Margot and Hunter Renfroe, have, and it helps from their NL time, with San Diego. All right, let's talk about the odds, and let's talk about our plan of attack here. The total is at 8 to pick them at either side. The Dodgers have opened up as minus 170 favorites. I've been waiting to see if we get a first 5, and they came out. So it's 1:30 a.m. Eastern time, 10:30 p.m. Pacific time, and the first 5s came out about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. Just did a couple books, and there are 4s for the first 5. 4s, and the Dodgers are slightly bigger favorite first 5 than they are full game. And my initial thought here, with the beautiful weather and a big pressure situation for Urias, who's been so good, I was thinking Dodgers team total over and full game over. I still am not in love with the Dodgers bullpen, even though the numbers are fine. I mean, the Dodgers bullpen in the postseason, 3.76 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. They were excellent in the regular season. But I'm leaning towards overs. And that first 5 at 4 is appealing. And even the Rays score first at a big plus line is appealing. Now, I certainly am not going to quadruple up, or I don't even want to triple up. I would prefer to pick 2 spots to attack at most here. But I'm leaning towards overs in this clear night with light wind and the roof open. Where are your leans? How do you plan on attacking this?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand what you're saying. You know, you look at Urias' first inning, 9 ERA, 10 innings pitched. So he is susceptible, 10 earned runs, in the 10 innings pitched. So I can understand what you're saying, especially with the stats. If they're going to get to him, they got to get to him early. But I really like the way he's looked. And when I look at Yarbrough, he has been crafty and he has looked good, especially here in the postseason. But he can't get hit. And these Dodgers have been really hot as of late. And I think that's a train that I'm just going to ride. I'm going to continue to ride that. I'm going to continue the Dodgers first 5. I'm going to take them on the run line once again. I was able to get the 110 last time. I haven't been able to see if I have that yet, but that's the angle that I'm looking to attack. Maybe the Dodgers on the full game as well, but I mean, I don't blame you on those overs. I read a comment on one of the last videos, and the guy mentioned you just keep taking the overs until otherwise, and I don't blame them. They keep happening, they keep doing the bats are seeming to do their thing. Albeit, you look at Rosarena end up hitting that home run late to push it over, but hey, it still cashes the same. So I can understand that, but I think I'll be taking the Dodgers on the first 5 run line.
Dodgers first 5 run line. If you want the -1 line with a -170 money line, a -105 run line, that works out to -138, which is pricey. What do you expect that first 5 minus a half to be at -120? Or do you think it'll be at -130?
Um, well, I think I might be able to get a little bit around the 120. But I'm not sure. Urias has been pitching extremely well, so might be getting more juice towards the first 5. Than we do full game than we did this last game. Uh, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I was trying to see what it ended up last game, but I can't really pull it up.
Do you think that getting in the way of Urias here, and the only getting in the way that I would have the balls to do would be a first 5/4? Do you think getting in the way of Urias here is very dangerous thing to do? A very dangerous thing to do with your cash?
I mean, in my opinion, yeah, definitely. Because the way he's had a great presence. He talks about the way he's kind of emulated Kenta Maeda and what he's learned in him, and the way he was used in and out of the bullpen as a starter, the way he went about preparing for games and always being ready. And I expect him to come in here and have a great outing. The guy's shown he's ready.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to get in the way of the Dodgers. I guess after what we've spoken, what we've talked about, I guess I'm curious to see what the Rays score first is. But do you think that we should possibly put a line through Urias's first innings because he's been so strong of late? Or do you think that his troubles in the first inning could easily rear its head again?
I guess it could show a sign of nerves in the first inning, and what more nerves are you gonna have than in a World Series start? So I could understand the angle without a doubt. But me personally, just the way I see the way he's commanding, the way he's been locking in as of late, I just really like it. And I'm really impressed, and I think he continues what he started, what he's been doing. When I look at the last time these last 5 first 5 numbers though, I think I still might be able to get a 115 or maybe even a 110. I'm hoping.
I'd be surprised to see a -110 with Urias on the mound and Yarbrough on the other side. If I can get a first 5 minus a half at even -120, I think that'll be the move I make on the Dodgers. But I'm also going to take that first 5/4. I find the first 5/4 more appealing than the full game over 8. What do you find more appealing from a totals perspective if you were going on the over a first 5 or a full game?
I mean, they keep going over. I mean, regardless of which one it's been, they both keep going over. I mean, to prefer which one or the other, I think that'd be tough to say. But I mean, the 4, I think it would get to 4. It's just whether or not it gets to 5. That's just my only question. But hey, the Dodgers keep hitting, and who knows? Maybe the Rays get a run early, but definitely not looking at the under. So that's for sure. You know what I mean? I'm done trying to mess around with that thing. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna let them try to pick a side and let them score.
The team totals are up now, so that means the score first is probably up now. It just happened. Yes. Sorry, this just all came up at Bet365. First team to score, Rays +165. That's not enough for me. That's not enough money for me. Not with the Dodgers batting first. I would need more than that. And then the Dodgers team total is at 4.5 at -110. That's appealing. What do you think of the Dodgers team total 4.5 at -110?
Yeah, I like that. They've been scoring quite a bit, and I think they can get to the Tampa Bay bullpen. I mean, I think if Yarbrough starts getting hit early, they'll yank him pretty early and go to the bullpen. And I like the way the Dodgers been hitting. I think 4.5. I think that's a fair number here. especially, you're the road team. You're going to get your 9 at bats.
So judging by the way, Bet365 puts out the 4.5 lines right away. Wait on the 5. I'm expecting at Bet365, and you can get better numbers at different books. I'm expecting the first 5 minus a half to be at minus 130, because they've got the first 5 minus a half and minus 140. Usually that's a 10-cent difference. So I'm expecting it to be heavily juiced. If the first 5 minus a half is at minus 130, is that too juiced for you, or would you still pull the trigger?
I'm not sure. I'm still might pull the trigger, but I want to try to angle the first 5. That's where I see my angle here. I'm not in the mood to lay like 160 or 170, something like that. So, but the 130 is more appealing than trying to lay 1.5 at minus 105, in my opinion. Instead of trying to win by 2 over the game. So, I mean, I still might even do that. I still might even take the Dodgers on the run line. I might double up here, but I mean, one of my books, I think it's looking like minus 125. So at 125, I will take it.
LA Dodgers team total over 4.5 at minus 110. The first 5 over 4, and we'll see what that is. At this point, only a couple books have come out with them, and it's between minus 115 and minus 125. So that's those 2 spots, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on. I expect to pull the trigger on. You can follow us on Twitter to see what we actually bet. And then I think I'm with you on that first 5. I don't want it to be sitting at minus 130. I want to see if I can get a little better than that. So that's my plan. The Dodgers team total over 4.5. The first 5 over 4. And Dodgers first 5 minus a half. I think that is what I'm comfortable with. And Nolly, you're going to make moves on Dodgers first 5 minus a half. You may double up with the Dodgers full game. Is that right?
Yeah, I might be doubling up. I like the Dodgers here in this spot. The way they've been hitting, the way the momentum's going, and the much better pitcher in my opinion. And I like the way he's been looking, and I expect him to eat up some good innings. And I like the way that they're hitting. With Urias on the mound, I expect good things. And one thing I might look at even is to continue to hammer is the strikeout prop. Albeit not necessarily a big strikeout guy, but here it keeps cashing. So if we can get a lower number, might be able to jump on that once again.
There you have it. Game 4 of the World Series coming up this evening. Nolly knows, thank you so much, my friend. 2 wins away for the first World Series in 32 years. Man, it's been a long time. You get the Lakers NBA championship. You could get the Dodgers World Series. And for all of us not in LA, I'm glad that there's no parade that we're going to have to watch with you guys celebrating those championships.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, it's been a while. And, I mean, it'll be beautiful to see it, especially for me I'm a big Laker fan, but even bigger baseball fan in general. So as being a Dodger fan, it means a lot. So, I mean, it'd be awesome to see it. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can make some money along the way with it, and hopefully we could get that championship.
Well, it'll be a lot of fun if we can be here 24 hours from now, deciding if we fade Kershaw or is Kershaw going to be on the mound to win it all for you guys. It's going to be extremely enjoyable. Nolly knows. Follow our man Nolly at Nolly562 on Twitter. I'm at Jimmy Bag. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and follow us on Twitter, odds110. And check us out at odds.com. That's where all good things happen. Big Saturday of sports. I can't wait, Nolly. Thanks for rolling with us, my man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for everybody checking us out, man. Shout out to everybody.
Have a big Saturday. Get paid in